On Two Wheels this week, Jeff rides a brand new all-American motorcycle, the Victory Cruiser. And on the same theme, Wayne and I travel south to a rally especially for custom cruisers.
Now you two-wheelers out there will know that there are all sorts of different owners' clubs for different brands and type of motorcycle. Well, we've come to a bit of a gathering. We're in Reading, we're actually at Reading Rugby Club, and that's in Berkshire. And this is the place and the home this weekend for this tented village and the various different people of the Virago Star Owners Club, the VSOC. Yes, and they've come down to display the bikes and go on a bit of a run. So let's go and have a look at a few.
So let's find out a bit more by asking the chairman, Kevin Hoyt. VSOC then, how long's that been going, Kev?
That's been going around 7 years now, Paul.
Right.
It started sort of at 1993 really, by a chap called John Bryning from near Saffron Walden in Essex.
Right.
And he had a bit of a help with Peter Healy for a while. And the club grew from there really, mostly gaining members through the BMF show in Peterborough.
Oh right, we know the BMF show very well. So how many members have you got then?
Up until April last year we had 1,141 members.
Wow, that's a lot, isn't it?
Which is pretty impressive for a one-make owners club.
It is very impressive. So what's the sort of normal turnout at an event like this?
The normal turnout of an event is really up to about 500 people, so which is not a bad percentage considering the amount of members we've got.
It's very good percentage, yeah. It just shows you the enthusiasm within the club, doesn't it?
Sure it does.
So is this an annual event or is this one of many events?
This is one of many events. What we try and do is we try and have 4 events in sort of Great Britain every year.
Right.
Plus we try and do an international event of which we spread our wings even further.
I was going to ask you that, yeah, because I noticed some of the, looking at the number plates here, we've got Dutch, we've got Denmark, people from all over the place. So they come here. Do you go there?
What we used to do is we tried to encourage the Dutch and the Danes to come across to us, and we went across to them. But what we've done now is, because to save the journeys all the time, what we've done is we've designated an international rally every year.
Right.
So 1 year it'll be in this country, 1 year it'll be in Denmark, 1 year it'll be in Holland.
Right, I see. So have you got any more big events this year coming up?
We've got a big
in this
event
country?
this year. We have. Our next one is August Bank Holiday weekend at the Grasshoppers Rugby Club in Preston.
Grasshoppers? I played 7-a-side there when I was 17-year-old.
You did?
How
long ago was that then?
How long ago, eh? They weren't playing with leather cases, I can tell you that.
No, I bet.
Right, well it's a good deal, lovely atmosphere, as always at most biking events. It's starting to rain now though.
It has, yeah, which is a shame.
So we better get all this chrome covered up quick.
Right, yeah, thanks for that anyway.
As with any big bike gathering or big rally, you get the usual type of things here. We've got a local dealer here behind me displaying his wares, promoting motorcycling and showing a full range of all the Yamaha custom cruisers. He's got Drag Stars, Viragos, Royal Stars, even a big Venture Star over there. Here, all your leather goods and bits and pieces that you might want. Wayne was in there earlier, actually looking for some new underpants, I believe. Over here, little bits and bobs, artifacts, things to wear. Also things to stick on your bike, because you can buy accessories here this weekend. And if you should buy any accessories for your custom Yamaha machine, you can have them fitted here. Because just further on down there in that little tent are the guys from Yamaha themselves. And they'll check your bike, answer any questions you might have, any queries, and they'll even fit your bits and pieces for you. And Wayne's been in to check it out.
I'm just going to interrupt this guy now. It looks like he knows what he's doing, and he should know what he's doing because he's a mechanic for Yamaha. Actually for Yamaha though, aren't you? Not from a dealer?
No, from Yamaha Motor UK.
Yeah. Tell us, George, what's the score then? Why are you guys here? Because there's a fair few of you milling around in this tent.
Well, you've basically it's to support the Virago Owners Club on their runs, on their days out. We come and we do safety checks, check their bikes over, tyres, brakes, etc. Some of them come quite a long way as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, we've been talking to a guy from Holland, and there's quite a few from Holland. So I mean, you know, they have come a long way. Further than most people do in a year, and then so I mean, they come over. People obviously are going to say to you, like, I've come whatever 200 or 300 miles, check things out for me.
That's right. Yeah, they come in. They maybe have picked up a problem on the way. And if we can sort it out for them, then great. We're not fully kitted up as what a motorcycle workshop will be, like a dealer.
Yeah.
We can only bring a certain amount of stuff with us. If we can sort their problems out, then we will.
But I noticed you've also brought a whole kit of accessories and things as well.
Yeah, we brought a load of accessories that our sales guys are selling off to them at a reduced price.
And then you guys fit them, don't you?
Yeah, we'll do a free fitting service
more
for
could
them.
they ask for? It's
Well,
better than the dealers do that.
They can park their bike up and go and have a beer or a tea or a sandwich and come back and it's done for them.
Excellent.
Now this is Bob Pountley, area rep for
Northwest.
Northwest. Longest serving area rep, eh?
Yeah, 7 years I've been serving.
I'm proud of it as well.
Proud of it, yeah.
Right,
Got
Bob.
a good team with me.
I bet you. I know you've got a great team. I've met a lot of them. Just tell me, Bob, about your passion then for these custom cruisers. Why custom cruisers?
Well, it's a lot easier to ride than a plastic, as we call them, the sports start bike.
Plastic rockets.
Yeah, the plastic rockets. I mean, you lose your licence dead quick. On this, you don't.
Right.
I mean, it will do a turn of speed, but it's the style and the comfort of riding it.
Right. Well, I can't deny that they are comfy. This is enormous Wildstar 1600cc.
That's correct.
We're gonna have one, have a bigger now. That's what I say. So what do you have before this then?
I had the 1100 before this and the 750 before that.
Right.
The Virago range, and
what's this like?
This one, to compare with that, it's a lot easier to ride.
Easier.
It's heavier, but it's easier.
Yeah.
Because it's the wheelbase of it.
It's huge.
It might be used, but it's not to me.
That headlamp looks like a football from the back, doesn't it? It's massive.
It's all right to comb your hair in, isn't it?
I suppose it is, yeah. Let me ask you this, because when you, I don't know, I'm guessing when you bought this, when it arrived on your drive at home or outside your house, did your neighbours come out and say, "Oh, you've got one of them Harleys"?
Yes. Oh, yes.
What's your reaction to that? Because it's nothing like that.
I just turn around and say, it's not a Harley, it's a Yamaha, it's a Wildstar.
Right.
And it might be a look-alike of a Harley, but at least I don't have to pay out the costs of maintenance on it.
Right.
Like you do with a Harley. They're too dear for me to run.
Yeah.
I'd like a Harley, but like I say, they're just too expensive to keep going.
Right. So you don't mind being sort of
Oh, no.
mistaken for a Harley?
No, doesn't bother me at all.
It's not a negative thing. Right, great.
Now, you know, folk don't just come from various different parts of the country, this country, no, they come from all over Europe. In fact, I've met a guy called Hans, he's come from The Hague in Holland. In fact, Hans is over here with his big star over here. Hans, how are you doing, mate?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, very good.
How
now,
are you?
this was quite a long journey for you, coming over from Holland.
Yeah.
When did you set off?
Thursday.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you got here when, yesterday?
No, Thursday evening.
Oh, so you came on Thursday, you got
we
here
came on Thursday evening and we left in Holland at English time 3 o'clock.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Dutch time 4 o'clock. So and we arrived here 11:30. It was raining, very heavy.
Oh no,
So,
you brought it over from Holland.
Yeah,
It never
I think-
rains
I
in this
think so.
country.
We have the same weather in Holland as
Yes, I know
in
you do,
England,
yeah,
so
yeah. And you speak better English than we do as well.
I
yeah.
tried to get my best English.
Tell me about this bike now. Is this a popular machine in Holland then?
It's a very popular machine in Holland. Yeah.
More so the stars, the drag stars, the royal stars, than the Viragos?
There are no Viragos meer.
Oh no.
It's finished with the Virago in Holland.
And we have all these.
All the stars.
And this
the
is a-
650, the 1100 and the Royal stars.
This is a bit special. This has a
Yes.
really lovely paint
Yes,
job.
yes.
But tell me a little bit about this. West Coast Hogs, what's this?
It's an area in Holland.
Uh-huh.
We have several areas in Holland and we have all different names. And we are called the West Coast Hogs.
Got ya.
It's because of the pig.
The pig,
Yeah.
the hog,
Yeah,
of
the
course,
hog.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a
And-
wild pig.
Uh-huh. While you're over here, you've come to have a look at our beautiful English
Yes,
countryside, of
yes,
course,
yes,
as well.
yes. Oh,
So
yeah.
that's what you're going to do. You're going to have a ride now, aren't you?
We're going to have a ride
Well,
now.
we won't stop you any longer. You go enjoy your ride on the countryside, but make sure you know your way back here, won't you, for later
Yeah,
on?
yeah.
All right, it's nice talking to you, Hans.
Okay.
All the
thank
best to you.
Okay,
Take care.
thank you. Bye-bye.
Now let me show you some of the lengths that some of these guys go to personalise the machines and customise. And this is Kevin Hoyt's bike, chairman of the club that we met a little bit earlier. Little things that you don't really notice until you get close. The back of the brake calipers here. That there would normally be a plastic piece. It would just be a plastic chunk and it doesn't look very attractive. He's had these specially made, stainless steel, lovely and shiny. Of course we've got aftermarket parts from Yamaha, the proper things. Beautiful front fender and just loads and loads of chrome. And if you come up here, the top of the reservoir here, the top cover, that's chromed. It looks like an aftermarket part, it's not. That's the original one that he's cleaned up, sent away and had it chromed. Little brackets like this here, that little bracket there, that's been chromed. He's had that done as well. And you don't really notice them until you get it next to an original machine that's bog standard. But there are over 85 different chrome bits on this, extra chrome bits on this, so that's a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of thought as well. And I'll tell you how much of a perfectionist Kevin is. On the tank here, he's got a shark, and I had to ask him about this. Shark here, shark on the other side. And that's because Virago, it says, underneath the shark, it's still there, the original badge, you may not be able to see it. But the V is there, capital V, and the rest is in small letters. On the other side, of course, the capital V is not the back, it's at the front because it reads Virago that way. Now that meant that when he was sat on the bike, he could see a bit of the V on this side, but none of the V on that side because of the shape of the tank. And it was bugging him. It didn't look symmetrical. So he went back to the paint sprayer who's done the tank and said, can you do something about it? So he's had this shark put on it. And when he sits on the seat now and looks down, he sees a little bit of shark fin here, and he sees a little bit of shark fin there. So it all looks perfectly symmetrical. I don't know, eh? Perfectionist.
Right, you know me and trikes. I like my trikes. In fact, only recently I had to go on the Hayabusa trike, and that was decidedly exciting. But this is entirely different. Malcolm, tell us a bit about this Virago. It's a 750.
Yeah.
There's not many 750s around, is there?
Not trikes. This was the first Yamaha I was triked in England. This one was.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Did you
done by
produce
Desperate
this?
Dan.
Desperate Dan. Now
Desperate
he's
Dan.
famous for his constructions and trikes.
Yeah.
It's a superb bit of kit. Have you finished it off with all your bits and
It's
pieces?
all been finished off, yeah, and it was redone the end of this year and put back together again, you know, and this is the first rally we've been to.
Is it?
Really.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a brilliant place.
This year.
It's very
Yeah, it's not
atmospheric.
bad,
People
is it?
from all over the flipping place.
Oh
isn't
yeah, they're from Holland. We usually have the Italians as well,
Is
but
that
this
right?
year they didn't come for
there? Oh,
some
perhaps
reason.
got lost.
Probably, you know, the Italians.
Where have you
know.
come from then?
Stoke-on-Trent.
Stoke-on-Trent.
Aye.
You're a bunch of nutters rather than us northerners are nutters.
The nutties we are,
Yeah, the
instead of the
nutties.
nutters. Yeah.
Why a trike then, Malcolm? Why did you decide to have 3 wheels on your wagon?
Yeah. Well, I injured me back and couldn't ride the 2-wheel bike.
Right.
So I just had the trike, you know, it was there on the what's it, so I went and bought it, and it's much easier for me.
Well, I'm sure
you
it
know.
is. I mean,
Yeah.
I like trikes because I can't fall off them so easily.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Do you go everywhere? Do you go to various different rallies
Yeah.
or just the Virago rallies?
No, we go for other rallies as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
We've been to the Bulldog and
Oh,
Rock
yeah,
and
yeah,
Blue and all
yeah,
that sort
yeah.
of stuff. And one or two of the locals around Staffordshire area, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And yeah, we do all that sort
Excellent.
of stuff.
Your wife's got a bike there, but it's
Yeah.
2 wheels.
Yeah, 2 wheels. It's bigger than mine actually. Mine's a
Pardon?
750.
Oh, see, yeah, sorry, me.
And hers is 1100,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And this was done up at the end of this year as well.
She's got a
last
name
year.
for that.
Yeah, Charlie. It used to be Gertie.
Right. And
But
what,
now
the
it's-
sex change?
Sex change job, I think. Yeah.
Has she found a particular item that's convinced her that it's a fella?
No, it's the Dutch that gave you the new
Oh,
name.
right then, the Dutch.
Typical of the Dutch, you
Ain't
know.
it just, yeah.
Well, you've probably noticed it's gone rather quiet now here at the rugby club. That's because all the guys and the girls have gone for a big ride out and they're all gathering a little way down the road at Windsor. And Wayne has gone to take a look and we'll show you what he's found after the break.
And welcome back. And indeed I am at Windsor Castle. This is the castle behind me, but all the bikes are actually down the road in a huge car park gathering together. I've actually got to go and have a word with Her Majesty herself just to apologise for Paul, who keeps writing to her asking for that knighthood. He ain't going to get it, certainly not with those letters he's been sending. So I'll go and have a word with her if you want to go and have a look at the bikes. Can you not give me a bit of privacy? Have you not seen enough of the bikes? Go and have a look at more of the bikes because they're fantastic. While I have a bit of peace. I mean, I've had a nice cup of tea with Her Majesty. The tea was gorgeous, she makes a lovely cup. But the biscuits, they were all crumbly. But anyway, so Paul says to me, if you pop down to the Thames there, go by the river, there's some lovely birds, you can take them for a walk. I think I got the wrong end of the stick, to be honest with you. So did you enjoy looking at those bikes? I told you they're going to be nice, beautiful, shiny, Viragos, stars of all shapes and sizes. While I've been enjoying myself around Windsor and by the Thames. What they're doing here, you might ask yourself. Well, what they've done is they've gone to various different places around the countryside collecting cards, playing cards. And what they do when they've got a hand of 5, they look at them and it's like poker. The guy with the best poker hand wins 50 quid. And they're even having a raffle for a scooter. So there's all sorts going on, prizes to win. And all these guys have got to do now is go with the police escort 13, 14 miles back to base camp where the tents are and where there's a bar, and enjoy themselves having a bit of a party. That's them. What about my problem? I've got to find a lift home.
Now you see this sign? What does that remind you of? Well, it's the famous sign of Sir Winston Churchill, and behind me is Blenheim Palace, his birthplace. What's that got to do with bikes? Quite simple. This was the place for the launch of the Victory, a brand new American motorcycle. Now, when I said a brand new American motorcycle, that's what I meant, but in fact there's actually two. There's another reason for a V sign. Because this one is the cruiser, which I'm sure you can see. The other one is a sport cruiser, but they both share this massive engine. Now this engine is Victory's very own engine. It's not a clone, it's not a copy of anyone else's. Massive V-twin, as you can see, 1507cc, which actually works out at 92 cubic inches, because that's what the Yanks work in. And in fact, this one, V92C, that's where the 92 comes from. It's modern, 4-valve head, overhead cam, and it's also got fuel injection. The rest of the cycle parts, the frame and whatnot, that's shared with the other one, but for now I'm going to concentrate on the cruiser. First thing you notice is, like all bikes of this type, it's big, like 631 pounds or 286 kilos in Euro speak. But once rolling, the weight's so low you really don't feel it. Even pottering around town, it all feels very manageable. What you do feel though is that great big lump of a V-twin heart throbbing away beneath you. It's not at all unpleasant, it's just there, reminding you that this is real heavy metal. Okay, Victory motorcycles. Well, who are they? Well, they're made by the Polaris company, and no, they don't make missiles, but what they do make is the world's top-selling snowmobile. And they're also second only to Honda in the sale of ATVs, so they're a big outfit, and they also make jet skis. The one bit missing from their portfolios was motorcycles, so they were big into recreational vehicles. Why not make a motorcycle? And that's what they've done and made two. So what else have we got? Well, first off, I'm going to take this jacket off because it's a beautiful day and far too hot to wear leather jackets. So put that down on the floor. And one thing I didn't say about this engine, see all this finning, they are actually used for cooling. It's actually hot as well at the moment, but it's oil and air cooled. So there's a little radiator down here and there's two oil pumps in there, one for the lubrication, the other one for the cooling. So it gives a nice visual effect for custom, but it's also got the high-tech oil cooling as well. Coming up to the front here, you can see these massive forks. These are in fact the Italian Marzocchi forks with great big hefty stanchions. And they're typical cruiser on how broad they are across the forks. See it? With big chunky cast aluminium wheels. And these, if you can see them, they've got very fat tyre, which isn't sort of that fashionable to ordinary sports bike and everyday riders. But it's a little 16-incher big tyre, and it accentuates the depth of the tyre there. All very cruiserish. If we come around the other side, excuse me, crossing in front of the camera there. Down here it's got footboards and a rocking pedal gear shift, and if you're not used to that, it does feel a bit odd. Press down for first gear and the lower gears, press back when you're actually changing up. So it takes some getting used to, but it does save you marking your boots. And when custom cruisers are all about style, who wants to take the polish off your boots? So that's what that's all about. Back to the front wheel, you can see it's got a single disc there. And interestingly, we're always mentioning the good old firm Brembo, but it's got Brembo calipers on, and these brakes really are good, steel braided hoses too. So engineering wise, it's all the business. In this massive primary chain case here, it's gear driven, there's no chain or belt in there. Main gear there, idler gear in the middle, and there's also a conical shock absorber inside it, and so that takes any big shock impulses out of the drive chain. Unusual and very clever. It's got a 5-speed gearbox, and that feeds through to belt drive transmission to the rear wheel. No nasty, messy chain there. The rear suspension unit is actually hidden under the seat in the top frame rails just there, and it gives this sort of hardtail look to it because it looks like a rigid rear, but it's not. All this subframe hinges from there, so you get a nice, compliant ride. Now, sitting on it, the seat height itself is very low. In fact, they've designed it for someone just 5'4" tall, and you can see I sit on it dead easy. big wide tank, but it's narrow where it matters here, so you can get your feet down dead easy. And look at these handlebars. These are absolutely Arnie Schwarzenegger jobs. Massive. I just haven't got the arms for it really. All these levers, see the front brake and the clutch lever, they're massive, all to give this sort of custom cruiser look. Very beefy, and they work well as well. Down here, you can see it's got a speedo, which is an analog reading speedo and rev counter, but in fact it's all electronic. And if that hasn't confused you, and I switch on the old ignition here, in there, if you can just about see, it's a little window, and that's got everything you could possibly want. There's a clock in there, there's engine temperature, there's a fuel gauge, there's absolutely everything. It's also got four-way hazard flashes, which is pretty neat. And what else has it got I can tell you about? Self-cancelling indicators, which again is neat. They turn themselves off after 20 seconds, which is pretty useful. The mirrors themselves here, they're good. Nice clear view. You've got none of this problem that I normally complain about. I've only seen elbows. You can get a clear view of the rear. So they work fine. And so pretty honky-dory. Ride a cruiser and you ride differently. You do ride more relaxed because you have to. The bars are high and wide while you're low and laid back. So what do you expect? You've also got around 62 brake horsepower and 75 to 80 foot-pounds of broad, fat torque at the back wheel, but you don't really need any more. If you feel you do, you've probably got the wrong bike. As it is, you open the throttle and with an exhaust reminiscent of subdued cannon shots from the massive pistons, you surge away and rock your way up through the 5-speed gearbox. Before you know it, you're soon on your own bit of Route 66. Even if it is more likely to be the A626. For a brand new bike in an established sector, it feels really sorted, and I reckon it will be a serious competitor to Harley. The standard cruiser will cost you £12,495, and the dealer network is being set up right now.
On Two Wheels next week, Jeff rides Victory's other machine, the Sports Cruiser. And stand by all you trendy commuters as Wayne and I hit the road on two top-of-the-range Kimco scooters.